All right, let's look at the world a little differently today. We're going to pull back the curtain on all the things you use every day and figure out why some of them just feel right and why some, well, they really, really don't. You know that feeling, right? That little spike of frustration when something just doesn't work the way it's supposed to? We've all been there. And believe it or not, that shared experience is actually the launch pad for something pretty amazing. I mean, think about that backpack you've had that just digs into your shoulders on the way to class. Or, hey, here's a classic, the water bottle that no matter how tight you twist that cap, somehow manages to leak all over your notes. That's not just annoying, that is bad design getting in the way. But here's the cool part. For every single one of those frustrations, there's this incredible tool we can use to fix it. And that tool is design. It's not just about making things look cool. It's about understanding a problem so well that the solution feels, almost obvious. So what even is design? At its core, it's basically the roadmap that gets you from a problem to a solution. It's that first spark of an idea, that messy sketch on a napkin, and the detailed plan that shows not just what something's going to look like, but how it's actually going to make someone's life a little bit better. So, how do we actually get from that leaky water bottle to one that never spills a single drop? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a pretty clear step-by-step process. This is the official playbook for thinking like a designer. See, before you can do design, you have to learn to think like a designer. That means you've got to get into this mindset called design thinking. It's really all about looking at the world around you and just constantly asking, what if? What if this could be easier? What if this could be better? It's all about imagining a different, better way of doing things. And you take that what if attitude and put it into action with this 6-stage journey. First up is exploration, where you just dive headfirst into the problem. Then you build understanding, really trying to see the world from the user's point of view. From there, you get into designing, where you brainstorm a ton of solutions. But the real fun starts with prototyping, building quick, rough models to see if your ideas have legs. Then you're constantly evaluating what's working and what's not, which leads you to the last stage, evolution, because you're never really done improving. Okay, let's zoom in on that prototyping step for a second, because this is a total game changer. A prototype is just a test run, a simple, maybe even ugly version of your idea. It's your chance to fail fast and fail cheap, learning what doesn't work before you've sunk a bunch of time and money into it. It's all about learning by doing. And this gets us to that last and honestly most important idea, evolution. The best products out there are never really finished. They're always being tweaked and improved based on real-world feedback. So design isn't a straight line with a finish line at the end. It's more like a loop that just keeps going.
So who are the people actually doing all this? You might be picturing some lone genius sketching away in a studio somewhere, but the reality is way more interesting and a lot more collaborative.
Yeah, seriously. The best design, the kind that really changes things, hardly ever happens alone. It's a total team sport, bringing together people with all kinds of different skills and points of view to create something amazing. You've got architects, for instance. These are the folks designing the actual spaces we live our lives in, the schools we learn in, the homes we live in. They're literally shaping the world around us.
Then there are industrial designers. They're the ones crafting all the physical stuff we use. That comfy chair you're sitting in, the smartphone in your pocket, all of that came from an industrial designer who was obsessed with making it useful and beautiful.
And of course, you can't forget fashion. Fashion designers create the clothes and accessories we use to tell the world who we are. They're blending function with pure self-expression.
And finally, we have graphic designers, the masters of visual communication. They use images, text, and logos to make information clear and easy to understand, from the websites we visit to the apps on our phones. They're the ones guiding our eyes through a noisy world. Now, all of these designers, no matter what they make, they all use that same core design process we talked about. But today, they have a whole arsenal of super tools that have totally changed the game, and that's technology. And it is a huge leap forward. I mean, where designers used to rely on pencils and rulers, they now have incredibly powerful computer software like CAD that lets them build and test these complex 3D models right on a screen. Instead of taking weeks to build a physical model by hand, they can just 3D print a prototype in a few hours. The whole toolkit has gone digital. So what does that actually mean for the final product?
Well, these super tools let designers work at lightning speed. You can test an idea, tweak it, and retest it all in one afternoon. This means faster manufacturing, way less waste, and much higher quality products, all because you can get through that design cycle with just a few clicks.
But, with all this incredible power comes a pretty big responsibility. Today's designers are tackling one of the biggest challenges out there, sustainability. They're being asked to create things that aren't just good for us, but are good for the planet too. This whole movement is called green design. And this isn't some far-off dream, it's happening right now. Check this out. A company called Karst Stone Paper completely reinvented paper. They make it from leftover stone from mining operations. And the result? Paper that's waterproof, terror-resistant, and get this, it uses 0 trees and 0 water. How cool is that? That's green design in action. Okay, so we've covered the process, the people, and the tools. But there's one last piece of the puzzle we haven't talked about yet, and that's you. Because here's the big secret. Being a designer has nothing to do with your job title. It's a mindset. If you spot a problem and you work to come up with a solution for it, guess what? You're a designer. It's really that simple. Think about it for a second. Doctors who design a treatment plan for a patient, they're designers. Scientists designing an experiment, designers. A mechanic figuring out how to fix a tricky engine, totally a designer. And that group now includes you. So, I'll leave you with this. Just look around you, in your room, at school, wherever you are. See all those little frustrations, the leaky water bottles and the uncomfortable backpacks? You now have the toolkit and the mindset to be the one to fix them. So really, the only question left is, what problem are you going to solve first?